All right, what is up, Utes fans? This is Joseph back with the Utah Utes Football Digest. Thank you so much for being here today. Feel free to drop in the comments. I got this new microphone. You can see it right here. Let me know what you guys think about it. If it's sounding good, I think it sounds pretty good, but you guys can let me know. But excited to have you here today, guys. This should be a really fun conversation. We're going to talk about the top 5 freshmen for Utah football in 2022. It's an awesome group. There's a bunch of studs in this group, and there's guys I had to leave off the list that I really had wanted to include, but it definitely came down to maybe 7 or 8 guys that were really, really close. And just to give you guys an idea of how I built this list, there's players I like, and then there's players that I think will be most impactful in 2022. And so the player I think is number 1 in the class might not necessarily be the player that's number 1 on this list. So this list is going to be made up of the idea that it is the top 5 impact freshmen of 2022. Who are we going to actually see making plays for the Utes on the field? I have no inside knowledge on this. I've interviewed a few of these guys. I've spent a lot of time looking at their tape, and if you guys stick around the channel, I follow this really closely. I have an idea of the different position groups. And if you guys are excited about this video, please make sure you like the video as you guys join the video. And also, if you haven't already and you're a big Utes fan, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Super excited to have you here and hope to have you keep coming. We do this live stream every Friday. I know I miss it sometimes, but I really do try to get this for you guys as often as I can. Feel free to drop your projections in the chat as well, who you guys think the top 5 players are for the Utah Utes in 2022. And like I said, this is the top 5 impact players. This should be a lot of fun. Let's go ahead and take a look. So first, before I start breaking down the list, some of you guys that might not be that aware of all the freshmen that are going to be here, let's show you guys a little list of everybody that committed for 2022. So take a look here. I'm only going to show the freshmen. Those are the guys we're looking at today. Excuse me. All right, so we have Lander Barton. We have Nate Johnson. We have Jalen Glover. We have Justin Medlock, Brandon Rose, Ko Akana. This guy doesn't go here anymore. This guy doesn't go here anymore. I wish we could just X them out. You'd think they would update this list and get rid of those guys. Sydney and Banasor, Tao Johnson, Elijah Davis, Jocelyn Malaska, or Jocelyn, I think that's how you say it, Keith Olson, Chris Reed, Chase Kennedy, and I believe Jaden Pearson. I didn't include him in this list because I believe he's actually a JUCO transfer. Tyler Kanak is on this list, though. He is also a freshman this year. So a really exciting group, guys. As we take a look at this, understand a couple things that, I like a lot of these guys. If you guys have seen me talk about the tape, you guys know that I'm a big-time fan on a lot of these guys. David has his list on the screen here. I just threw it up. David, thanks for sharing your thoughts. Definitely like a lot of the guys on your list. Let's see if they make our final list. So, like I said, this is going to be the top 5 impact guys, and because it's top 5 impact and not top 5 players overall, I'm going to go ahead and start with an honorable mention. Let's throw them up on the screen here. All right, give me 1 second. All right, boom. All right, so the first guy I want to give an honorable mention to is a guy I'm a huge fan of. It's Nate Johnson. Nate Johnson is a quarterback coming to the Utes, 6'2", 183 pounds. Probably right up there for my favorite player in this class. Definitely in the conversation for me. Obviously, he's coming in at quarterback. That's a big reason he's not going to make the top 5 impact list. He's got a lot to work with, right? There's a lot going on with this kid. Super big time playmaker, and a guy that I absolutely believe is going to be the future of this program if everything goes as planned. Really seems like a stud, super fast, super explosive, great arm, just all around big time player, guys. Nate Johnson is a beast. I'm going to throw up some of his highlights so you guys can take a look. And as we go ahead and start watching the highlights, if you guys haven't already, please make sure you guys like the video It goes a long way, and I appreciate it a lot. So please do as we do this, and feel free to drop your comments. So we got Nate Johnson's highlights on the screen here. David says, hope we only have to see him at the end of blowout wins. Rising needs to stay healthy for us to repeat. Yeah, and I think that's another reason that I have Nate Johnson on here. Obviously we got a good QB room. Bryson Barnes, Jaquindon Jackson. I think it's going to be tough in general for Nate Johnson to see the field. I can't, like, as good as Nate Johnson is, I just don't see him seeing the field over at least Bryson Barnes right away. I think Bryson Barnes is awesome. And Jaquindon Jackson's pretty damn good too. But I just think as time goes on, Nate Johnson, whose highlights you're seeing on the screen here, is going to be a big-time playmaker for the Utes. I would imagine as early as, 2023, Nate Johnson could be the guy in the Utah offense. So definitely a beast. He's all-around playmaker, superstar track athlete, and really brings a lot to the table for the Utes. And on that note, let's go ahead and start talking about the top 5 players. So this is going to be the first guy on the list, everybody. Let me just write his name down for some anticipation. Boom. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of context every time I drop one of these guys up on the screen to kind of let you know where I'm coming from with the selection, because there's a lot of really good players, right? There really are studs in this class all up and down this list. All right, so the first guy, so number 5, we have Kao Akana. So this guy is, like I said, all these guys on this list are straight studs. This guy is an edge / linebacker player for the Utes. Beast. Just so you guys understand, let's 6'3", 205. So the reason he's number 5 and maybe not a little higher does have something to do with that size. Even at linebacker, that'd be smaller, but at edge, that's really small for edge. I mean, you're only limited by what you're able to do, but you got to have some projection in the transition from high school to college. And with this kid, that's got to be a factor, right? So let's go ahead and throw the tape on up here. This is his sophomore tape, but check the kid out, guys. I think you'll be just as impressed as I was. Straight animal. Check him out here, just throwing the tackle around, throwing the running back around, and making a play in the backfield for the quarterback. The kid is damn exciting, dude. He is tough to contain, very fast, explosive off the edge, and just a mean dude. I'm telling you, this guy had 25 pounds on him heading into this year. He'd probably be higher on this list. Just a stud. I think he's also one of the unsung, like, nobody's talking about heroes of this recruiting class. Chase says, don't count out Mbenasaur. I think that's who you're talking about. Absolutely, guys. Stick around to the end, see if he makes the list. And if you guys are a big fan of Kao Akana, number 5 on this list, please make sure you like the video. The kid is a beast. Show him some love. Show the video some love. Comment in the chat what you guys are thinking about the list so far. And if you're a big-time Utes fan, please do subscribe to the channel. Yeah, this is definitely a kid. I don't think I ever made a recruiting video about Kao. I think that's how you say his name. But definitely a guy that I got excited, when I watched the videos. Super big-time playmaker. A lot of energy, a lot of athleticism. Definitely a guy that I think a lot of us are excited to see play for the Utes. So really, really exciting there. So we've done number 5. That's Kao Akana. You guys know Nate Johnson's not going to be on the list. Some of you might have thought about him. But like I said at the beginning of the video, if you're just tuning in, this is not the top 5 talents headed to Utah. It's the top 5 impact freshmen in 2022, right? So who is going to make the biggest impact next year? I think is a fun thing for you guys. So if you guys might not be as big of a football nerd as I am, right, where you're just watching this and keeping up with it all the time, this might be something that'll be good for you. So next year, as these guys hit the field, you can keep an eye out for them, and actually, watch for them as they get out there. And I think a lot of you guys that follow this channel might know who could be coming up relatively soon, right? I think a lot of you guys know that if I watch someone's highlights and I feel very good about their highlights and I think it's one of the best players in the class, that's one thing we do on this channel. I don't try to save anyone's feelings. If I think someone needs some work, I'm not rude about it, but I say he probably needs to improve this. But when I love him and I'm like, wow, this guy's really underrated, I definitely don't hold that back, right? So, all right, now let's go ahead and move into number 4. Let me go ahead and write his name down before I throw it up here, just so I like to have the name written down. Oh, all right. So this is number 4, guys. Number 1 was Keawe. All right, so number 4, I might have just given it away for you guys there. All right, so I'm going to just throw it up then. So number 4 is Keith Olson. I'm going to throw him up on the screen as well. If you guys are not familiar, Keith Olson, 6'6", 305 pounds, offensive tackle out of Napa Vine, Washington. Now, let's see. Do we have any recent tight end? I think you're saying tight end freshman. We have Landon. I forget his last name off the top of my head, but Landon, I think he is a transfer that's planning on playing tight end, or I believe we're switching to wide receiver, one of the two. David says Valha's a tight end. Okay, but anyways, let's talk about Keith Olson. So number 4 on this list, guys, Keith Olson is a straight monster. And honestly would really be higher on this list if it wasn't for position. And what I mean by that is not that offensive line is not a valuable position, but it is a low start rate and impact rate for freshmen. For a freshman to come in and really make an impact at offensive line, you got to be elite. I would even go as far as to say is Keith Olson probably will not be starting when the season gets going, but I'm going to go ahead and put on his tape, and I think you guys will quickly understand why I am so high on Keith Olson. Check him out here, dude. The guy throws defenders around, right? The highlights are, if you guys watch my actual recruiting breakdown on Keith Olson, you guys know what I'm talking about here. I'm a big fan. He straight up throws guys around, solid in the pass game. Just looks like a straight beast, guys. Solid in the pass game, but the run block game, dude, you do not look at him just throwing kids around. He ragdolls people every damn play. And, there's a lot of great high ceiling offensive linemen that I've seen watching tape, but this guy has like the tools to go in and do it right away, right? You could see it there. He throws guys around, real physical. This is a guy that has such a good high school tape at offensive line, plus the size, that I think it'd be hard to imagine that he doesn't come in and make an impact right away, right? Just a guy that's just a real beast. So that's Keith Olson for you guys. Definitely seems like a beast to me. Yeah. And as we get into number 3 here, I know it's probably exhausting, but please do make sure you guys like the video. If you haven't, it really goes a long way to getting this out to more Utah Utes fans. And if you guys are a big-time Utes fan, please do subscribe to the channel. So just to recap who we have so far. So we had honorable mention in Nate Johnson. We number 5 is Keawe. Number 4 is Keith Olson. So now who is number 3? Now, if you guys are a fan of this channel and you've been following this for a little while now, you will know who number 3 is. You'll know I'm probably higher on him than almost anyone else that covers the Utes, that talks about the Utes. This is one of my favorite players for the Utes. Let's go ahead and throw him up on the screen. Let me just type out the little word for you guys before I throw him up. Boom. All right. All right, and here we go. Number 3 is, let's put him up, Chase Kennedy. So Chase Kennedy is an edge rusher out of Dallas, Texas, 6'3", 225 pounds. Where is this? All right, definitely a really big-time player. When I watched the film, guys, I was shocked that this guy wasn't higher. Like I said, if you guys have seen the recruiting video I did on Chase Kennedy, you'd know what my opinion is of him. Just a straight stud, seriously. A guy that's really going to bring a lot to Utah. Now, size-wise, probably a little small to be starting to edge right away. But let's go ahead and throw on the tape so you guys can understand why I'm so high on Chase Kennedy. And I think you guys will probably agree pretty damn quickly when you watch this tape. So here it is for you guys. David says, I expect huge things from this guy. So check out the tape, guys. I agree, David. Coming off the edge here, this kid is a edge rushing monster, dude. He is a sack attack every damn play, dude. Look at that. Just flies into the backfield, racks the quarterback up, causes a fumble that goes for a turnover for a touchdown. Check him out there, top of the screen off the edge. Boom, straight beast going in, and boom. He is fast. He is athletic. He is explosive. He is a straight playmaker. Chase says, yes, he's a future mayor of Sac Lake City. Honestly, it is crazy to me. More people aren't high on Chase Kennedy. I interviewed the guy on the channel. If you guys get a chance. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that, guys. So I interviewed the kid on the channel. Super delightful kid to talk to. You could tell he had his head on straight. You could tell he's a smart kid. Honestly, I just so many check boxes that go well in his direction, plus really high-end athleticism, and a guy that look at that kid. These guys can't block him. Honestly, a guy that I am more than excited to bring on to the Utes. He's going to be a straight stud as he gets into Utah. And I'm sure you guys like freshman year for Chase Kennedy. To me, I think freshman year, he's an impact in a situational pass rusher, right? I think he will be in on third downs from time to time, and he will quickly prove himself to be a very big impact player on third and long. So hope to see that this year. And like I said, guys, as we move into these final top two, it's all projection, but I'm sure most of you guys know who the top two are. If you follow the, most people that cover the Utes, you probably are aware of who the top two are. And I'm sure right now it's more just what order are they in. So that's why I'm kind of building the anticipation here. So if you guys want, I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure you guys know who number 1 and 2 are. If you guys want, I'd love to hear in the chat who you guys think is number 2 and who you guys think is number 1. I think that'll be fun to look at. If you guys think one of these two is going to be a bigger impact player and one of them is going to be more of the secondary impact player. But these two are both very, very likely to make a good impact this year. And as you guys do, before I drop the final two, please go ahead and like the video. It'll get it out to more Utes fans. Also, please subscribe to the channel. It goes a long way, and you'll get constant updates as we drop more Utah Utes videos. It's all year round. This is what we do. I've been covering football since a month into the off season. So we're almost down to the last idea we could possibly have for a video. So these next few weeks will be fun to where I can finally start talking about Utah Utes football again as we get into the season. That'll be a lot of fun. Okay. But on that note, let's go ahead and drop in who number 2 is. Like I said, most of you guys probably already know who the top 2 are, but this will kind of give you guys an idea of how I'm looking at it. Oh, we got the TJ Builder says Lander Barton, number 1. Well, Lander Barton is definitely one of the two. Let's see if he's number 1. So at number 2 for the top 5 impact freshmen for the Utah Utes in 2022, we have Lander Barton. So Lander Barton is a really good football player, really good size, really good athleticism. And for me, when I compare him to the guy I have at number 1, and we're just looking at high school tape, both of them are right there for me. Where I found this guy, where I decided Lander Barton would be number 2, had to do a lot with the spring game. Not that Lander Barton didn't do a good job. I just felt like, you can be on defense and make tackles and be a silent warrior, but defense a lot of the time, as much as, being consistent and being great is really important. It's also about making an impact, right? Like make your name known, hit someone real hard, get a pick, break up a pass. You get what I'm saying? All that's really important. And that's where I felt like Lander Barton maybe just had a step behind the guy that's at number 1. But Lander Barton is a beast. Let me throw up his profile on the screen. Let me be real clear, guys. I could be wrong one game into the season about this. This is really a projection, and Lander Barton could be the best freshman Utah's ever had. It's a real possibility. So definitely a beast. They have him projected as a second-round pick already. All right, so let's take a look at him. Boom. Oh, they don't have any highlights on here, but if you guys want, you can check out some highlights on Lander Barton in the future on your own. But the kid's a really good football player. Comes from NFL bloodlines, from Utah. He's a Utah legacy. I mean, definitely just a beast. A guy that you guys are going to be really excited about. Brings high-end athleticism, real good football IQ, real good smarts, and just really is able to make plays on the ball when the play is there to be had. All right. And now the final guy on the list here, everybody, is going to be the number one player. I'm sure most of you already know who he is. And I'll kind of explain why he's number one. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that agree with me. I think he's starting to become the the darling that's stealing everybody's hearts here. This kid is a straight animal. So before I talk about him, before I reveal who it is, this kid was film I watched. I think he was actually my second ever recruiting video breakdown. So I made this was the second one. The first one was Chris Reed. So just so you guys know, it's not Chris Reed, but it was who's a really good player too. They're all really good players. You don't get a scholarship to play D1 football unless you're a really good player. All right, so number one. There we go. Jalen Glover. So if you guys aren't familiar with Jalen Glover, this kid is a straight stud at running back. And I mean, real high-end talent at running back. 5'7", 205 pounds. This tape I'm about to play is his sophomore year. But he has more recent
tape. Good form.
Damn.
Thanks, Dad.
These are annoying, huh? He has more recent tape that's even more impressive. Jalen Glover is a little bowling ball, dude, with high-end speed, high-end acceleration, high-end athleticism. Let's check him out here, guys. Boom. Goes to the hole. Can't tackle him, and can't tackle him. That's just kind of what you see all. And his speed feels even more impressive in the more recent years. Like, the speed's good here. TJ says, Glover is my guess for your number one. Yeah, and just so you guys understand, I feel like when you look at high school highlights, I mean, I think Jalen Glover might even have the edge on the high school highlights. As good as Lander Barton's highlights are, Jalen Glover might have the edge there. But really what it was spring ball. But, sorry, spaced out. But really what it was the spring ball, dude. If you guys watched that spring football game, Jalen Glover looked ready to go, dude. He looked like he was going to fit into the offense. And honestly, I know – it was just a spring game, but in that one individual instance, he was the best running back that I saw that day. I know Tavion is proven and looks amazing, and I expect Tavion to be the guy and kill it this season. But it's hard to say that Jalen Glover is not going to have an immediate role. I honestly, right off the bat, I don't think there's anyone else you can guarantee will have a role right off the bat. But I feel confident saying Jalen Glover's getting at minimum 3 to 5 carries a game. I would say more like 5 to 8. And I mean, it's obvious why when you watch the tape that's on the screen, guys. He's a really good playmaker. He's just a beast. So if you guys have enjoyed this list, please make sure you guys like the video. It really does go a long way, and I love bringing you guys this content. Also, please make sure you guys comment below what you think of the list. Do you guys agree? Do you think I left anyone out? TJ says, I watched the spring game last night. I agree. Glover looked fantastic. Yeah, I mean, he probably stood out more than anybody else. I remember being there in the stands and being like, damn, this kid's going to be good. Yeah, I mean, going to be good. That's the great thing about running backs. Probably more than any other position, you can, be good right away. Like it's so much, there's talent. Like, I mean, there's football IQ, a lot of it, but so much of it is just raw athleticism. So if you have it, it can take you really far. But Jalen Glover brings a lot to the table. If you guys did enjoy the video, please make sure you like it. Like I said, subscribe to the channel if you guys love Utah Utes content. But I really hope you guys enjoyed it. On that note, I am going to get out of here. We are so close to the damn season. I'm going to have the Utah and Florida game breakdown coming up soon. I don't know if that's next week or the week after. I'll try to do it pretty close to the actual game, but maybe a week or two out. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm out of here, guys, and go Utes.